Joe Mixon released Zack Moss, now a Bengal. Also Austin Ekeler to the Commanders. We had a lot to talk about. The Fantasy Football Show Breaking News Edition, Graveyard Shift Edition, Joe Mixon released and Zack Moss hired edition begins right now.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios,
it's the Fantasy Football Show live
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news
From
breaks.
the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Here we are again. Is this live stream number 4 or 5? I don't even know. Welcome into the show. My name's Smitty. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. Subscribe if you're new on YouTube. If you're watching, I'm streaming to Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as Instagram right now. And we're just trying to bring some more people into the fold, right? Get on over to YouTube. Link is in the bio, wherever you're at. We knew this was probably coming. A lot of rumors about Joe Mixon being a cap casualty, saving money, going in a different direction. It's a little surprising that Zack Moss is the replacement. Joe Mixon released from the Cincinnati Bengals, or he will be. And this man right here, who, let's give him credit, he played really well last year, subbing in for an injured JT. Zack Moss gets a 2-year, $8 million deal, about $4.525 million in the first year. This guy was so good last year, let's really give him credit for what he did, that he kept a committee alive for quite some time. I mean, JT signs a big fat deal. They keep Zack Moss fully involved, and he was really, really solid. And Zack Moss in Buffalo was misused. He was kind of injury prone. I would say that's my concern maybe here. I would also say that the Bengals had a shot to really go swing big. Maybe Zack Moss plays better than Derrick Henry in 2024, let's be honest. But I think I would have swung bigger. I feel like the Bengals took a nice little cheap stab at replacing Mixon instead of going with a big heavy hitter. Now, this isn't to say they don't maybe make another move, but I doubt it given the money. It's not like it's crazy money, but it is certainly money big enough that you'd think they probably won't be making a move for another running back unless they draft a rookie. They also have Chase Brown, who still could be, solid. Tough to say what Zack Moss is from a fantasy perspective. I would say he's a running back too. Signed, let me fix this little graphic here, by Bengals. Let's see if this will show up right there. I think low end running back 2 is appropriate. I don't think it's something that we can say that this guy comes in swinging with big wide receiver or big running back 1 value. I think it's something along the lines of a mid range 2 to a late value running back 2. There's a lot of content in one day. This has been crazy. Do I think he could be a surprise from that value? Yeah, I think he could exceed expectations if we're coming in expecting low-end running back 2 value. I don't even know how many leagues I'd draft him in. I'd be a little bit worried about Chase Brown taking over. I'd be a little bit worried about this and that. But I'd be intrigued enough to have him in one league. I think I want Zack Moss in one league. I really do. I wonder where his ADP is going to be. I feel like if let's say his ADP currently on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. So please punch this link right here. I'm going to drop the link in the live chat. I would appreciate if you guys would jump in, get signed up ahead of time. Let me see if I can drop that link right now in the live chat for you. I'm going to pin it in a second. But play Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Go ahead and do it live. Get in on that. Because we will be drafting all off-season long to an extreme degree. Like every single night we'll be drafting, or almost every single night. And if you sign up now, you'll get double your first deposit and you'll be ready to go. I'm going to pin that link in the live chat. Link has been pinned in the live chat. If you're watching the replay, it's in the description of the video. If I go to Underdog Fantasy and look at the ADP rankings right now, I wonder where Zach Moss is going to be. I don't really know, to be honest, where he's going to be. I'm scrolling. I know he's going to climb. Chase Brown's at 107, running back number 32. Zach Moss is, I mean, again, he's going to be way down here. He is 162, running back 49. There's no way that's going to hold. Let me show you some of the players that he's around and below and above. So we'll put Zach Moss right in the middle, take a screenshot of the ADP rankings, and I'm going to throw these ADP rankings on screen, and we'll get a little taste as to where we can get this guy in a fantasy football draft as of tonight. I think somebody's going to reach for him. It's going to take a little time for his ADP to rise, so we really won't know where his ADP is. We truly won't for quite some time. Here's the ADP rankings on Underdog Fantasy. Again, you can see he is ADP right on this row right here. 162.8, running back 49. He has Marshawn Lloyd above him, Braylon Allen above him, Jalen Wright. I like both Jalen Wright and Braylon Allen a lot. Marshawn Lloyd too. Tyler Algier below him, Bucky Irving. Look, this is a steal territory if he's even remotely close. But we know the signing is going to bump his value up from running back 49 to what? As I said, he's a running back 2, so if you look at 12 starting running back 1s, 12 starting running back 2s, you're talking about, honestly, tail end of running back 2 territory, but probably more flex still. Like maybe I'd say 25, running back 25 to 30. Running back 25 to 30 maybe. And even that feels high. You know? Let me go see who's sitting there at running back 30. Maybe I don't even like him that high. Let's look at DeAndre Swift is around running back 31. He's going to probably climb. Javonte Williams is at 30. Okay, I could take Zach Moss over Javonte. Jaylen Warren is at running back 28. Mixon's at running back 27. Brian Robinson, James Conner. You probably want James Conner over him. Yeah, I think we'll call it 30, 31, 30, 29, 34. I think that's probably where you could get him on an underdog draft. Running back 30, running back 29, running back maybe 28. Do I like Braylon Allen and Wright more? The two rookie running backs, the two likely rookie running backs. Jalen Wright is a freaking potential monster and sleeping giant on this channel. Braylon Allen as well. Marshawn Lloyd's nice too. Those three running backs. These guys don't belong at running back 40. I don't know why they're going so late. I would take Moss, Lloyd, Braylon Allen, and Jalen Wright and move all of them up to running back 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. If I'm being honest, I'm drafting those guys well ahead of their ADP. But wow, what a day. What a crazy day. Appreciate all of you being in here. 176 of you in the building. 31 thumbs up. Punch that thumb up button. Zach Moss is now a Cincinnati Bengal, and the offense is very potent. The offense is very conducive to fantasy football scoring, and I really do like, no matter what, who is behind, standing behind Joe Burrow or next to him on the regular. I think that's going to be a good running back. I think that's going to be good fantasy football production. I'm a little shocked that Joe Burrow didn't get Clyde Edwards-Helaire brought in, though. Whether you agree with it or not, or whether I'm just saying I think Joe Burrow loves Clyde. I'm kind of shocked that free agent Clyde Edwards-Helaire didn't get snagged by the Bengals. Maybe he still will. I also wonder if the Bengals draft a Braylon Allen, draft a Marshawn Lloyd. These guys are going to fall very far in the draft. They're not anything expensive or worrisome in terms of like, oh, we're gonna have a crowded running back room. They're almost free. Some of these running backs are going around 3-4. Some of these good running backs going 3 and 4. I don't know where Bucky Irving's gonna go. I don't know where Braylon Allen's gonna fall. I don't know if we're gonna see Wright fall into a crazy amazing territory. Jalen Wright is a fantastic prospect. I love Jalen Wright. Jalen Wright to me could be the number one rookie running back in this draft class. Jalen Wright might fall around 3. I don't know. Marshawn Lloyd could go around 4. Who the hell knows? He could go 3. He could go 4. The NFL draft's going to be crazy. So you mix in a rookie like that, then Moss has less value. I also think that, we're kind of not giving Chase Brown enough respect. I'm not saying he comes in and takes Moss's job. Moss is getting paid $8 million. $8 million is not crazy. $4.5 million a year is not crazy. Yeah, let's see here. 2-year, $8 million deal. Yeah, like $4 million a year is not crazy. $4.5 million in the first year. That doesn't necessarily scream no matter what he's starting. Like, he could lose this job. If they promised him the job, it looks like he's getting paid to start. Chase Brown's going to be heavily involved. You know, it's going to be a committee to a degree. But Moss is very talented. You know, I don't know. It's not the best situation. Not for Moss. Moss is in a good spot, but I mean, I don't know why the Bengals didn't go in a different direction. To be honest with you, I'm a little let down on this one. Not that Moss is bad. Where's my free agent running back board? I don't know. Did I not even have Moss on here? I don't know that let's see. Moss is with. Let's put this over here. I don't know why Derrick Henry hasn't signed yet. Maybe he's taking his sweet time. These teams might be offering and we don't know what's going on. But so Moss is signed. I'll make this look a lot cleaner. Moss signed. Dillon's free agent. CEH available. Singletary signed. Dobbins, he's garbage. He's coming back from an Achilles. He's not going to be anything. Ekeler is signed. Barkley signed. Gus the Bus signed by the Chargers. Doesn't make sense to me. I don't like it. Henry is the only available running back that has any, you know, substantial value. I mean, you could say AJ Dillon, but I don't think so. I don't know what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. This, by the way, when Baker signed his deal, your boy was talking to Rashad White, if anybody missed that. We're talking to Rashad White 22 minutes before the Baker news broke. Rashad White told me he was coming back. Straight on the live stream. Straight on the live, Rashad White said not only is he going to have 1,400 yards easy on the ground, which I don't know if he's going to have. He might have a 1,200. He might have like 1,600 total yards. I didn't want to tell him. I didn't want to break the news to him that 14 is a tall order. But Rashad White, who averaged 3 yards per carry, love him. Great running back, but he was under 4 yards per carry. He's like 3.7, 3.6 yards per carry. But it was a tough situation. He played very well considering, and I like Rashad White a lot. He's got top 12 running back appeal. Rashad White told us 22 minutes before the Baker news broke that he was having dinner with Baker that evening and he would be back. 22 minutes later, the news broke. This man, Rashad White, told us literally on the live stream. It was phenomenal. Go watch that clip on my Instagram. Aaron Jones over AJ Dillon. Oh yeah, Aaron Jones and Henry, the only two running backs left. I got to put Aaron Jones on this list now that he's been released, because Aaron Jones is now available. So I got to reorganize this. This is a mess. This is an absolute mess. Let me put A. Jones. I'll put him like right here. I got to reorganize this. I got to remember to reorganize it before I go live. Aaron Jones and Henry are the only two left. I apologize if it's very, very crowded. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Phone lines are open. Call in. Tell me what you think of Zach Moss. 223 of you in here. And I want a handful of you to call right now on the phone line and tell me what you believe this is going to mean in fantasy. Do you like Zach Moss in Cincinnati? Is it going to work out? Is it a good landing spot? Are you expecting Chase Brown to take over? Do you like this move because Chase Brown doesn't have the most significant competition? So it's kind of like if you're a Chase Brown believer, a blessing in disguise type of situation. I'm going to move the phone line because you can't even see it. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Very curious to know what you all think. 228 of you in here in only 53 thumbs up. Please punch that thumb up button. Chase Brown to the moon. I don't know, Aldi. I don't know if this is going to be. I don't know. I want him to go to the moon. I really like Chase Brown, but is he Pollard? You know, I'm not saying every running back that feels like change of pace before they get the job is Tony Pollard, but I think I have a little bit of PTSD as to what we're going to get out of Tajay Spears once they finally get maybe a chance. Look what happened. Now Tony Pollard's there. Tony Pollard finally gets a shot, craps the bed hardcore. Are we really looking at a Tony Pollard 2.0, or is Chase Brown something different? I'm not saying he isn't. I like Chase Brown a lot. He's certainly Moon Man material. But do I like Chase Brown with Zach Moss in town? Or is Zach Moss going to rain on his parade and crap on his parade? I don't know. I feel like it could go either way. I think Zach Moss proved very much he is a good player. I think Zach Moss proved that Buffalo misuses running backs. I think Singletary in 2023 in Houston, who tore it up in Houston, by the way. Singletary proved that Buffalo misuses running backs. Singletary leaves, goes nuts in Houston. Zach Moss leaves, goes nuts in Indy. Maybe James Cook is going to leave and become a top 5 running back. Who the hell knows? All I know is Buffalo does not use running backs consistently, and we have to wait and see until they leave Buffalo to become who they're going to become. Carl, you're live. What's up, Carl?
Hey there, what's up? I have two things I want to talk about. Number one, I kind of hate this Zach Moss signing. I think I don't know. I was under the impression that the Bengals wanted to go back to the Super Bowl. This doesn't feel win now. This doesn't feel competitive at all. This feels very rebuildy. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
It definitely is kind of what I said at the beginning of the top. He's good. I don't want to take away from how good this guy played last year, but I was really hoping that since he was serious, it's kind of like I feel like this is like you tell your buddy you're going to play ball at the park. Bring your best guy. Because we're going up against some ballers, okay? And the ballers happen to be the Kansas City Chiefs. They happen to be the Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? And your buddy shows up with his out-of-shape uncle, his fat, out-of-shape uncle, and a tank top. And a tank top and some thin Converse that he had from the 80s. He shows up and you go, bro, I thought you were coming with a baller. We're going up against some strong talent. And maybe his uncle's good. Maybe his uncle can shoot a nice little 3, but we want a baller, bro. I'm in agreement with you. I really think. Let me put this caller on hold. 614 caller. Where are you calling from? 614. And what's your name, pal?
Devin.
Devin, where are you calling?
DK.
You're calling from where?
From Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, Devin, hang tight. I'm coming to you next. Devin from Ohio. All right, hang tight. Mute if you could, or keep the mouth breathing to a minimum if you don't mute. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in agreement with you, Carl. I really thought that we're going to bring a baller in. And to be honest with you, as I said earlier in the night, if you don't go get Derrick Henry and you're the Bengals, you should get him just to play defense, just to take him away from the counterparts, from it, just to, even if you're talking about like Dallas, in another conference, doesn't matter. Take him away from the contending teams. Play defense by taking Henry out of the picture. Like the fact that you're leaving him there, and now Henry gets to go to Baltimore, which is where I think he probably goes. He could go to Houston. He could go, to a handful of places still. Dallas feels very, very tempting, very likely. But I'm hearing Baltimore right now from the little birdies that may or may not know much more than I already do, or what, a lot of us know. But there are a lot of smoke and mirrors, type of things going on. But I'm hearing Baltimore. We're going to hear something by tomorrow, at least, maybe midnight, my time, about Baltimore. I don't know. But you leave Henry for Baltimore. What good was Zach Moss, man? I like Moss, but come on. This isn't a big swing. It's not. I agree with you. I agree with you, bro.
I'm going to just go ahead and say I don't like Moss. I mean, he was playing for a team that just got lucky. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't like it at all. But you know what? Okay, look. So if Dallas does not sign Henry, which you're right, I'm hearing a lot of Baltimore talk, and I kind of hate that as well.
Yeah.
But what is Dallas just gonna lean on Rico Dotto? I kind of really hate that. I don't know. Like, cause like, who else is left at that point? Like, if you don't, like, do you know who else is left in the free agent market?
Yeah, Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry. Thanks, Aldi.
Aaron Jones,
okay, Derrick Henry. The only two ballers left, and Aaron Jones and Henry may not be ballers anymore. Like, the laugh could be on us if, let's say, Zack Moss goes out. It just looks the part again, and we're like, holy crap, this guy is actually pretty damn good. He proved he was. I think we're not giving him, we're kind of crapping on him a little bit. I don't think it's deserving because he played really well last year. But Henry, I just feel like you could bring in both, man. You know, I don't know that Zack Moss, was there really any competition for Zack Moss? You know, part of me wonders if they even had to pay this.
No, there wasn't.
I don't know.
In fact, I remember you saying that during that time when Zack Moss was around, you were saying, hey, what was that? Trey Sermon could, like, usurp him. And when you said that, I'm like, that is so true. So why do I care about that?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember that. But I'll just say this. I'll just say that why not bring in Henry and Zack Moss if you think he's an important part of your team or whatever. But like, I would not leave Henry out there. Aaron Jones goes to let's say Aaron Jones goes to. I really have a feeling. Where did I say Aaron Jones? Buffalo. I think Aaron Jones maybe goes to Buffalo. Maybe. Where else could he go?
I'm not mad at that.
Minnesota. There's talk about Minnesota. That you know what I mean. He's gonna go to Minnesota. Why? Because it's not the best spot. That's just the way it's been going. Like, I'm not saying Barkley in Philly wasn't fantastic for Philly, but we kind of wanted Barkley in Houston. Some of these landing spots they're not as good as they could be. Eckler's not in Cincy. Let me take that off because, sorry about that. These were some predictions that I had. I want to make sure I'm not making people think these guys landed in different spots. Henry, we don't know where Henry's going to go. Barkley's in Philly. Now that they're landing, I'll actually put their names next to Jacobs. Jacobs was interesting, bro. I don't know how you feel about Jacobs and his new situation.
I mean, I'm a massive Dynasty player. I really can't stand Jacobs. I think that's a bad bet, but this is intriguing. Him in Green Bay, that's intriguing.
I like him a lot in Green Bay. I don't have Green Bay on here, so I had to take him off. Let me see if I can let me make Green Bay down here, just so I can have Jacobs in a home. I think who hung up? Devin, call back. I think Devin he didn't have time to wait. Devin, call back. I'll get you on. Green Bay. Let me make a home for Jacobs. Hold on. There you go, Jacobs. You got a home. Henry. We'll put Henry right here. He doesn't have a home yet. Corum doesn't have a home yet. I do think he goes to the Chargers though. Buffalo. I feel like maybe Aaron Jones to Buffalo. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I kind of feel it. I don't know why. What I feel hasn't been necessarily going. I mean, the Cousins thing I got right, but I definitely didn't predict Green Bay for Jacobs. We definitely talked about Barkley to Philly for sure. We went live. We have a live stream dedicated to it, but I didn't ultimately think he'd go there. Henry, I said Henry goes to Dallas or Baltimore, or I'd almost tattoo, oopsie on my forehead. I said almost though, thank God. I feel like Henry's going to be the one that's going to live to the expectation of going to one of these two spots. If Dallas and Baltimore crap the bet on Henry and he goes somewhere else, I'm just going to be in awe of how ridiculous they are. Let me go to Devin real quick. Carl, I'll come right back to you. Devin, what's up, my guy? You're live.
Yes, sir. Hey, Smitty, I just want to start off by saying thank you for all you do, man. You are really the GOAT. I love how you come on live late at night. I work third shift. Thank God I'm off tonight. But I do appreciate everything that you do, man, for this fantasy football world.
I appreciate.
Can you hear me?
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So So, yeah, man, I love the Zach Moss. I mean, I know the guy before me didn't like it, man, but I know Zach Moss is a little old, but I think he still got some gas in the tank, man. I am a Titans fan. I'm interested to see where Derrick Henry goes. Also, me being a Titans fan, I'm also a Tajay Spears owner in my one and only Dynasty League.
Oh, sorry.
So that Pollard move kind of, two pass catchers. I know they're building around Will Levis. It's great and all, but me as a fantasy owner, it sucks for Tajay Spears.
Yeah,
but,
he was a moon man, an early moon man drop, and he's going to get nudged right off because you just can't, I mean, things happen. I think the guy that's going to replace him, actually, I'm not going to say anything yet. I'm going to drop it maybe tomorrow. But I think you guys will like the pick. Henry's the next domino. And the Aaron Jones and Henry are the next dominoes. I don't know where they go, but what's your question?
For sure. So I have to pick 102, 8, 9, and 10 in my 10-man Dynasty League. I might have to trade Ekeler. I'm thinking about adding Debo in there as well for a first-round pick because all I have right now is Ekeler, Spears, and Jalen Warren, man. But I do have a lot of picks. I have 4 first-round picks right now. You think I should get rid of Ekeler to maybe get a third round or even a second round next year? You think anybody's fighting on that?
You mean a second-round rookie pick?
Next year.
No. A second-round rookie pick? Like you're talking about not?
Yeah.
No. I'd rather. Honestly, bro, I don't think I'd give up Ekeler for. Like I know Ekeler may crap the bed, but I'd rather ride that train out one more time than to give it up for something you don't know what a second rounder is going to be. Second rounders are kind of valuable, and I'll be honest, I usually undervalue them. And when the second round picks are on the clock and I have none, I go, damn. I could have got that guy. So I'll be completely transparent that I probably underestimate the value that can fall. Because in my mind, I'm like, all my favorite players would be gone by then. So I guess it depends if it's like 2.1 or something, where it's like almost a first rounder. Because remember, Tank Dell went in the top of round 2. You could definitely get a monster.
And I have Tank Dell.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like if you can win now at all, if you even have a shot at it, I would keep Ekeler. If you can't win at all, like you were total rebuild mode, I don't know. I'd see if I can do something a little different. I'm not saying like even if it was to move your 1.2 to the 1.1 and get Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I mean? Like that's more valuable than a second rounder that you don't know what the hell it's going to be, where it's going to be, what it's going to be.
Yeah. I'm pretty stacked, man. I got AR5 to Ekeler, Debo, Tank Dell, Devontae Smith, T.J. Hawkinson. So I'm pretty set as far as youth goes. With these 4 picks, I'm going to add some more youth, but
I would use them to upgrade.
Yeah,
I would use them to upgrade one of those guys into a slightly better. Who are your running backs?
Ekeler and Warren and Spears.
Ekeler, Warren, and Spears.
Yeah. My weakest position is running back, I'd say.
I don't know. I'd try it. I'd try and get into like if I'm trading Ekeler, I'd give up like Ekeler and some seconds to get a first rounder, a late first rounder. I'd try and get Jalen Wright. I'd try and get Braylon Allen.
Would you do Debo? Would you do Debo and Ekeler for a 104?
Chat, what do you think on that? That's a lot to give up right now, but it won't be 2 years from now. So I think I'd probably take the one. I'd probably take a Dunze over Debo and Ekeler. Yes, because Eckler's really not worth a lot. So it's really like a Dunze or Debo. I'd rather have a Dunze. I'd take the 1.4. I would do that. I would do that.
Thanks, Smitty.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you. Later.
Yeah, appreciate you. Bye.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Carl, what else you got, Carl?
Oh, right. You said you don't like the Gus Edwards signing to the Chargers. I don't know. Isn't that kind of like a professional Blake Corum for that offense? I don't know. If we're talking about mediocre running backs, I kind of love that signing.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't think Gus Edwards feels like he's a walking injury. I don't know. I don't think that's a. Could he work out? Sure. He could.
I mean, I'm not saying RB1 or anything.
Yeah, but the problem is,
saying that,
you know they're going after Corum or they're going to draft a running back. They're going to have 2 or 3 running backs rotating. I don't think this is a one-man show at all. I think Harbaugh is going to extremely disappoint fantasy football owners. I think he might win, he might look good, but it's going to be very bland. It's going to be very balanced. It's going to be very drain the clock, which could be good for the RBs. You know, didn't Blake Corum have like 27 rushing touchdowns? It certainly could be. It certainly could be good, but I'm not betting that it's absolutely going to be Edwards that is the benefactor. I don't know, bro. I don't like Gus Bus that much.
I mean, I don't either, but he was surprisingly effective at the goal line last year. So I just genuinely, I see like a 20% less efficiency from last year, and I'm okay with throwing a third out for that. I don't know. I like the signing personally. I like it a hell of a lot more than the Wild signing. So I don't know. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. You probably did mention in a previous live stream. I'm gonna check those out tomorrow. I just wanted to hear what your thoughts.
Yeah, I wasn't like it. It feels that you know what's making me think I don't like it more than anything is the fact that they just didn't get Henry. They didn't get Barkley. Gus Bus instead of Barkley. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Gus Bus instead of Henry. Gus Bus instead of Aaron Jones. Gus Bus instead of all these other options, man. There's no way I'm taking Gus Edwards over those guys. And this is supposed to be a ground and pound, brutally effective offense. Just absolute smash mouth football coming out of this Harbaugh, build that should be very Michigan-like. I think very defensive oriented and very drain the clock. I don't like Gus Bus. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I eat my words later, bro, but I'm not. I mean, maybe I draft him. We'll see where he goes on underdog. If he climbs like into high-end running back 2 territory, I'm out. Especially because we especially don't know who they're like. If they draft Blake Corum, he's the starter. I don't know.
And you know what? They honestly, they could get Mixon. I just remember just now that Mixon is now a free agent.
Yeah, Mixon too. I gotta add him on the. I don't know if Mixon finds a starting job. I bet he finds a committee but that makes sense. The Chargers make sense. They have they'll have Gus Bus. They'll have Mixon at that point. They definitely could have a rotation. It wouldn't be surprising if they picked up Mixon and drafted Blake Corum and had 3 running backs. I really feel like Harbaugh is gonna have this like 3-headed monster, or at least a 2. It still might produce though. Like they're gonna run a lot. You what?
If that happens, I'm out on Chargers. Then I'll even be out on Gus Bus. So yeah,
I could be wrong.
I'm just glad to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, and don't necessarily like lock in what I'm saying and think that I can't change my mind too if Gus starts getting hyped and they start talking about him as like we signed him to be the star. Like, you know what I mean? And anything like that comes out of LAC, I'll be thinking different. But right now, I feel like it is a what in the hell signing, and maybe a lot of it is that I'm so questioning why they didn't bring in a bigger name. This is a team that's supposed to run the damn ball, and they don't go after Barkley. This is a team that's supposed to run the damn ball. They don't go after Henry. I don't know. I have no idea. And not to mention Gus Bus is going to detour a lot of these other guys. Like, I don't think Henry would go there now. I don't think Aaron Jones would go there now. Maybe they're like, I forget if Aaron Jones got released. I think Gus got signed before Aaron Jones was released, if I remember correctly. I don't know if anybody remembers.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
The timing of that today. Everything is a blur to me. I don't even remember which one happened. I'm pretty sure Gus Bus. I'm pretty sure Aaron Jones was released after, but I'm not positive. Hollywood sign anywhere? Not yet, my bro. All right. Hey, Carl, call back if you got another one. I'll be here for a little while longer, so hit me back if you got another question. All right, later, bro. Anybody else has a question, dial in. Phone number's on screen. I'm looking. Tyrod Taylor signed with the Jets. That's pretty good news. I got that news right here. I mean, pretty good news. Just that we know it's not going to be Zach Wilson at least. You know what I mean? Like, that's the silver lining in that. You know, at least it's not Zach Wilson. You know, give me somebody. Give me anybody. Give me somebody. I really do hope they draft a rookie QB, though. If the Jets don't take a rookie QB, and they won't, I know they won't at 10, they'll be like, no, we can't. Aaron Rodgers will get mad. I'm going to be mad because I really want to protect this team for the long term. I really want them to be, no matter what happens, contenders for the next 5 years. The Jets can win a Super Bowl in one of the next 5 or 6 years if they plan properly. But you go out there with A-Rod, and Tyrod's better than Zach Wilson, but like you're not going to win a Super Bowl with Tyrod Taylor. But if you bring in Penix Jr. or Bo Nix and you say, look, A-Rod, teach him, you know, mold him, sculpt him. What if A-Rod's good this year, but plays like Brett Favre's final year in A-Rod's final year, his second year? He plans to play 2 years. Address it then, I guess, yeah, but I mean, damn. What's up, Travis?
So it seems like some decent football moves today, but not a whole lot of great fantasy moves at first glance. I mean, things that shake out as the season goes on and training camp and all that. But I do think you might have a little Pollard PTSD, though, worrying about like Chase Brown and Spears in that way, because I understand your concern, but you also, I mean, understand they haven't started yet, but there's potential for both of them to be very good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm not out on Chase Brown. I'm just saying, I was just posing the question of like, are we gonna get?
Good way to put it.
Are we gonna get trapped? Is my fear. I don't want to get trapped in
PTSD.
Yeah. But I think there's some logic behind pumping the brakes a little bit on a change of pace back, getting into a starting role, and being different. And I'm not saying Chase Brown is for sure a change of pace back, but that's what we got to assess. That's what we got to determine if Chase Brown is not a change of pace back. That's all. If we all come to a conclusion that he's not, then let's let it ride. But I think Tajay Spears might be. And I don't know how I feel about that situation. I was really excited about him, but now I'm a little bit worried. But then again, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. They bring in a guy that's already failed, and then all of a sudden Tajay is like atop of the food chain real quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that guy that... Is anyone still on the phone right now? The guy that had the first round pick?
No, he's not.
Talking about Ekeler and Debo. Because I was just going to say, one thing he can consider is that he already has 4 first round picks, and he thinks he can pick up another one. If he's able to do that, then he has either half or close to half the first round, and people are going to pay up for those picks when it comes time for the draft. Depending on the league, I know.
Yeah, they might.
He could deal from a position of strength there, or like you said, package some of those and just try to stack at the top of the draft if you can.
Yeah.
And get just 2 or 3 studs. So.
I just don't know if I don't want to necessarily say that Eckler's got a lot left at all, because I said he was going to bust, you know. Last year, I'm not a big fan of the high value he had at all. But like now that he's a 6th rounder, and I'm not saying that he's acquiring him at a 6th round value, but it feels like, you know, you abandon him for, you know, if you know it's a 2.1 or a 2.2, that's different. But I think if you abandon him for what ends up being a player that you almost can't even figure out if you got to make cuts in order to bring him in, then like I don't know. I think that's a mistake. But we'll see.
I like where Ekeler landed, and I'm not like the hugest B-Rob fan, but I do worry about the usage. But I have to think Kingsbury has a plan for both of them, you know.
Yeah. I agree. Ekeler will do well for the first couple weeks, then trade him, says Matto. I'm very okay with that thinking, you know, like you let him fire off. But the one thing I do feel about Ekeler is that he was hurt last year. And on top of that, like, how much of it was his situation, which has been pretty bad. You know what I mean? Like, it was a bad situation. Nobody played well. It was kind of a you know, I remember, what's his face? The backup. What's his name? Who's the back? Ziggy. Who's the backup running back in Los Angeles?
Joshua Kelly.
Joshua
The backup running back of the Los Angeles Rams is Royce Freeman.
Rams. Yeah, he had 1 out of 2 a chance because I didn't say the Chargers. Thanks, Ziggy. Appreciate it. Joshua Kelly. Was it? Yeah, it was Kelly. So Joshua Kelly comes in, and I think he had 1 good game, right? But then even he, who I think was pretty talented, was like hitting a brick wall. And Kelly absolutely crapped the bed hardcore. So part of me is wondering if, and I'm not suggesting Ekeler's got a lot of time left. I'm not saying he's even got the full year. But like to what Matto's saying, not Spiller. Spiller's garbage. But what Matto's saying, that's how I think, is like, okay, what if he's got more left than we think? Nobody did well there. No one ran the ball well. Kelly looked like trash, and I know Kelly's not trash. I know he's not great, but I know he could play a lot better than he did. And when I had Ekeler out, I was in the Marsman League, and I had both of them. I traded for Joshua Kelly, and I thought I got him for pretty cheap. I forget who I think it was Jack of all trades. I traded for him or somebody, and I got him, and I'm like, I think I'm going to be okay while Ekeler heals up because Kelly's pretty decent. And he just didn't do anything. And everyone's like, this guy's trash. And I don't know how much of it is LAC and how much of it's Ekeler. And I'm not saying working out and showing yourself doing pull-ups and Ekeler holding a 200-pound weight between his feet and doing pull-ups with it. Doing a ton of them with 100-pound and doing, 1 or 2 of them with the 200-pound. That's like my whole body. It's like doing pull-ups with me hanging on his back. He's a strong, still very fit player. And I don't know if he's lost his step, right? Or if he's taken too many mileage on the knees, and that's different than doing pull-ups and arm strength. But I just, part of me feels like at 6th-round value or in trade, a 2nd rounder, an unknown 2nd rounder, let's give him 1 more year. At that cost, okay? I'm not telling anybody to hold on to him if someone's offering the 1.10, the 1.11, the 2.1. But if we're talking an unknown, potentially end of round 2 rookie pick, or we're talking the 6th round in a redraft, not the 2nd round, not the 1st round, let's give Ekeler 1 more try, like Timmy T said. 1 more try. Didn't know how much I cared. I really think it's worth it. There's nothing to lose. Nothing. You're not going to lose a league off of a 6th-round Ekeler pick. You're not going to lose a league off of not taking advantage of a mid to late 2nd-round pick. Ekeler could be okay for 1 more year, and it could be all LAC. I don't know.
Sam Darnold for the Vikings.
Oh my God. You know what I'm thinking on this one is maybe there's still a chance Henry signs tonight because of this stuff, or that it gets announced, because this is a late piece of news coming in. Let me send
you see them trading for like Trey Lance as well? Could you see something like that, bring in both of them? Or?
I could. I also feel like, and let me put this on screen so everybody can see it. Sam Darnold to the Minnesota Vikings. This was talked about as being the backup plan if they lost Cousins. Now, let me tell you why that's a problem. Let me tell you why Vikings fans, and if Perps is up, Perps call in because he's a Vikings fan. If we got any Vikings fans, call in. If the verbiage was, hey, let's get him as a backup, and we like him as a backup quarterback, then I'd be okay. But the fact that verbiage, and it didn't necessarily come from Minnesota, so we don't know if it's entirely true or painted properly. The picture might be completely painted wrong. But if what I'm hearing is true, that this is the backup plan if Kirk Cousins leaves, Vikings fans better just abandon ship. You know, this is going to be one of the worst seasons you've ever had. And JJ, what in the hell is going to happen to JJ? I almost feel like we got to end this live stream and go live on this topic because this affects JJ.
It's a big one.
This is maybe more about JJ than it is Sam Darnold, but good God. I mean...
The only way it's okay is if they draft somebody.
The only way. If they don't take a rookie with this 11 pick and Sam Darnold's the backup, this is a debacle. If they go after a different position here, I know they need defensive help. I get it. I'm not an idiot. But if they don't draft a quarterback, Penix Jr., Bo Nix, or McCarthy, or whoever, I don't even love McCarthy, but good God, if he's here, take him. Whatever. Take one of the 3 quarterbacks. If you don't, and you rolling with Sam Bradford, and I'm JJ, I'm demanding a trade tomorrow, actually, tonight. If I'm JJ and this is the plan, I call up and I say, hey, Vikings brass, what are we doing here? Is this our starter or is this the backup plan? Is this the backup quarterback for our rookie? And if the Vikings are like, no, you don't like Sam? You don't, wait, what? You don't like Sam? Hold on. Meatloaf? Okay, honey. Almost, look, I'm distracted here. That's why we made this move. The meatloaf's going to burn. You don't like Sam? JJ, hello? JJ picks up his second cell phone. You know, like CeeDee Lamb's got 2 cell phones. JJ's got 2 cell phones. All wide receivers have 2 cell phones. He picks up his second cell phone and he says, hey, agent, we're demanding a trade. These clowns think I'm rolling with Sam Darnold as my starting quarterback. Yeah, request a trade officially. Thank you. We'll see you later. That's what I'm doing. There's no way you're playing with Sam Darnold. Oh, my God.
Yeah, if that's truly the plan, I don't see JJ. He has to demand a trade, right? He has to. Whether it happens or not.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is crazy. This is absolute madness. We don't know, like you said, and like I said earlier today, they better draft a rookie quarterback at 11. If they draft a rookie quarterback at 11, then they're okay. Like they're okay.
I don't know if I'd like that as JJ though. Like, if you're not getting one of the top, unless it's Penix or one of the other top 3. I'm not happy if I'm JJ and they bring in even McCarthy or Nix. And I mean, unless you can see right away that they're going to be good.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was going to call in for, was to see if the Vikings were going to trade for a top 3 pick.
I hope the Viking, like, here's the other thing too, is like I see a comment from Instagram from Michael. What about Fields? It's a 1-year, $10 million deal.
That's a lot of money for
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't scream starter, but it does not scream necessarily backup either. It's not like a crazy amount, but it's pretty dumb money. You know, yeah. I hope it's not bridge money. Let's hope he's just going to be brought in as a backup. I know that a lot of the JJ fans are going to be saying that. You're going to have the optimistic view on this, and I get that. I don't blame you, but I believe that we're probably going to be hopeful. And I don't think the problem is how long do we wait on this until the NFL draft? And you know, if we don't hear anything, what do we do? Like, what do you do if you're drafting? What do you do if you have JJ? What do you do if you don't have JJ and you want to buy off the fear? Because there's that component too. Do you buy JJ on the cheap from the freaking out Freddie, who's like, oh my God, he's got Sam Darnold, and you're like, I really think they're going to draft Penix Jr., Bo Nix, or trade for Justin Fields. I'm going to go ahead and trade for JJ on the cheap. There's definitely ways to look at this. 100%.
I mean,
let's hope they get Justin Fields though. I think that would be fantastic. But
JJ is a wide receiver 1 no matter what. So if someone's panicking, I think if the price is right, you obviously go get him.
Yeah, in Dynasty too, things change from year to year. So, and he's on a 1-year deal anyway. So,
Right.
but I still don't know that I love
Right,
the
'cause you
idea.
could
Like if I could go and get a Jamar Chase and some to trade him.
Yeah.
If someone's still willing to buy, it
Yeah.
depends on the sum, what I'm getting. But I don't know how I feel about them developing a quarterback. Like if they use Darnold, they don't draft a rookie, which I think they will. Ultimately, if you told me, Smitty, what do you think? Pressure's on the line. Make a decision. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Do they draft a rookie? I say at 11, yes. But I don't know, for sure, because this was being reported days ago, and we don't know if it's being reported wrong, but days ago as a potential move that would be made if they lost out on Cousins as a backup plan, not as their backup running back. Now, maybe something got lost in translation, or it's all guesswork, and they did say, ironic, you guys all spread rumors about this. We do want him as a backup. Or somebody released a little tidbit of information, and then somebody ran with it and said, this is the backup plan if they don't get Kirk Cousins. When it's really, he's the backup, Bob. He's the backup. They need a backup. Everybody needs a backup. But, if they think this is a starter, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm not saying JJ's not a wide receiver 1, but does JJ go from having potentially, a 1,800 yard, 12 to 14 touchdown season on 120 receptions to maybe 100 receptions, 105 receptions, 108 receptions, maybe 1,300 to 1,400 yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns? Like, does he drop half in touchdowns and drop 20 or 30 receptions? Does he drop 200, receiving yards? That's a significant amount you keep chopping away at. There's no way Darnold's as effective as a Fields. There's no way Darnold's as effective as, even in my opinion, a Nix or a Penix Jr., because I think those guys are good.
I think if they aren't planning on him being the starter, they'll come out pretty quick and say something just to quell the people going nuts over it. But if you don't hear anything, if you hear back and forth, then it could be going that way. I just have to assume that they like Penix or McCarthy or Nix, and they're planning on that. But like you said, you don't know.
I don't know. This news is crazy. I almost feel like going live, ending this live stream and going live again on it. But I don't know. I think this will be my 6th live stream. I think I don't know how many I've done. So I think I might end it here. We'll let the news digest tomorrow, and figure out what it is. But Darnold's garbage. Jake says Darnold's better for JJ than Fields would be. Okay, Jake. If you say so, bro. I don't know. Let's check with DJ Moore. Hey, DJ, have a question for you. How was Fields for you? Good? He throws a nice ball? You felt like a wide receiver 1? You played like a wide receiver 1. You played like a top 5 wide receiver during courses of when this Chicago Bears coaching staff enabled and supported Fields. Top 5 wide receiver? That's pretty fantastic, bro. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you. Come on, Jake. Pull up a game log or two, Jake. Let's go over to Theo from Illinois and then Jafar. Theo's been waiting very patiently, I gotta say.
Do you think the Bears saying that they're holding out on Justin Fields' trade, or they haven't opened it up, is just smokescreen?
We don't really know. No one really knows anything, bro, to be honest with you. There's one reason I don't come out here and start claiming this or claiming that or trying to. It's smoke. I'm here to digest stuff and interpret it more than anything, and I think that's what people expect from my channel. This is where we come after something happens and we collectively talk about it. We figure out what we're gonna do. I don't know the answer to what's really going on behind the doors in Chicago. I will say this. If I had to predict, based on everything that I've heard, I do have people that are pretty decently connected, but they don't know either half the time. They act like they do, but I'm telling you right now, some of my sources don't know shit. And what I feel like, if I had to break this down, is that the Bears are no matter what going to draft Caleb Williams. And that the Bears, if they can't get rid of Fields, will wait until draft day to see if they can get an eager team, an eager beaver that didn't get who they wanted to partake and dance a little bit and make a move maybe then. And if they don't make that move, they'll figure out a way to get rid of them. I think there'll be somebody that's still going to want them, and it'll be draft day, and it'll be something more it will be less expensive than anybody ever imagined because they got to move on. There's almost zero chance they hold and maintain both quarterbacks, but there's a strong chance they draft Caleb while Fields is still on roster. You know? So I want people to understand that. Like, Fields is not gone before draft day for sure. He may not be gone until draft. During the middle of the draft. Could even be day 2. But there are teams that could use them. Not everybody's going to land the quarterback. You know, there's going to be at least one, maybe 2 teams that don't have a quarterback or a viable quarterback plan. The problem is, though, these rooms get filled up and people make alternative plans. And if they wait too long, look what Las Vegas did. They brought in Minshew, and they have O'Connell, right? So
yeah.
So what's going to happen then? If they get a call, hey, you still want Fields? They might be like, well, we did, bro. Where you been? You know, so like they're running the risk of that. So Chicago should be trying to get rid of him so that they can ease the transition between Caleb and taking over everything and not have Justin Fields nipping at Caleb's heels. Not to mention you can't have it the reverse either. You can't have Fields go out there, tear it up, and then what do you do with Caleb? Like, you can't do that. You cannot enter. If Poles enters the season with both quarterbacks, he'll be the biggest laughingstock of the league. And if he goes back and drafts Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm not saying on its face it isn't a good move. It's what I would have originally done. But now he's already crapped all over Fields, and it tears a quarterback down when you don't support them and you act like you're trying to trade him. And if you can't get rid of him, what? Second choice? Okay, we'll go ahead and stay with you. I tried to go upgrade you. I couldn't. I guess we'll roll with you. That's not the way you nurture a broken quarterback, and Fields is 100% broken. He's not where he needs to be. That's why the market is bleak on him. And everybody, and Jake says there's no market for him. We know that, Jake. That doesn't mean he's not good. There's no market for Lamar Jackson, Jake. Not one team offered two first-round picks for Lamar Jackson. Does that mean it was the right move, Jake? No. The answer is every team screwed up. Every team crapped the bed harder than any team could crap the bed by not getting Lamar Jackson for a measly 2 arbitrary first-round picks. Meaningless picks that don't have any value whatsoever. I think I have a super chat that I didn't get to. Steve Morris dropping a $20 hauler. Spreadsheet Steve here. Thanks for being live literally all day and keeping the community informed. I'm conflicted on some of the changes and how it's going to impact my main Dynasty team. Can I stay ahead? Hey, call in, Steve. Steve, are you still here? I'm sorry for the delay on that. Appreciate that $20 hauler, bro. And then I got another one from Hobbies. Steve.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Hob G coming in strong with another $20 hauler, 2 back-to-back. Steve, are you still here? Please tell me you're still here. I'm sorry about the delay, Steve. Let's see if Steve's here. Took over a Debbie Dynasty orphan, and Jimmy G and Mac Jones are on it. That's despicable. I traded for AR5. That's fantastic. Smitty approved that, Hob G's. That's fantastic. I went from 0 rookie picks to 11 and 6 Debbie picks. I have a crazy project. Some of those are fun, bro. So it sounds like you got a nice little team to kind of cultivate. I like that. It's not really my cup of tea usually. I like to draft my own teams, but I also don't have a lot of time. If I had a lot of time, that might be pretty fun. Thank you for the $20 hauler as well. Hob G to the move.
alert, super chat alert.
Okay, where were we? Who was talking?
I got one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead. And then JFar.
Do you think Bryce Young takes a second-year leap with the improved offensive line?
Does he take a leap?
No.
Does
he do better than he did the first time?
Better, sure. Is he going to be really good yet? I don't know. I'm not going to count him out. I do like him, but I think his situation is still not very good.
All right.
Yeah, I know it's probably not what you wanted to hear, but I could be wrong.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for being live all day. Really love the content.
Later, Theo. Appreciate
have
you.
a good night.
Okay, JFar, you're live, pal.
Hey, since you were talking about JJ, just real quick, I don't think he's going to go anywhere, regardless if he gets paid. That's number one. But I wanted to ask you, what do you think the team for the Giants, what's their situation? Do you think they're in rebuild mode, or they're just trying to, compete with what they have, I guess?
I don't. If they think they're competing, bro, they all need to be fired. They're not competing with nobody. Giants don't know what the hell they're doing. The only thing that would save them is if they, I've said this over and over, if they draft Neighbors, Odunze, and trade for Justin Fields, then they want to turn this thing around. This organization has just completely flipped their priorities upside down. They tried to connect the positive to the negative connectors, and they got it all jacked up, bro. they plugged in the Danny Dimes long-term deal plug instead of the Saquon Barkley long-term plug. And now you've got a dead cap hit that's going to cripple you. And you got to wait a year to do anything. And maybe that scares people, decision makers in New York, from pulling the trigger on another quarterback at number 6 overall, which should be your choice, which should be what you guys do. If you're a Giants fan, I assume you are. Look, to let Barkley slip out of your grasp, let him go to the Philadelphia Eagles, which has got to hurt. And then you're now stuck with Danny Dimes and probably not the balls to draft a quarterback at 6 because of that. I don't know what the hell you do. Now, you take Neighbors or Odunze, which I hope to God you don't. Maybe in a year, things can change. I like Dable a lot, bro, but I don't know what the hell they're doing here. How do you let this happen? How do you let this happen? And how do you choose Danny Dimes over Saquon a year ago? How do you choose that?
Danny Dimes played well. Listen, you can't, and they can move off him after this season.
Come on, man. Don't say that there's logic behind signing Danny Dimes to one of the worst contracts in the NFL. Come on. He didn't play well.
They can move off at the end of this season.
But what, you're going to waste a whole year? You act like time is not of the essence. You act like people are giving away years, like they're candy.
The way I look at it, they have two choices with the 6th pick: is either draft a QB or trade down and see what happens. I don't think they're in play for Neighbors or any receiver. They have to draft a quarterback or get more picks to build what they have. And Minnesota could be a good trade partner for them. They need a quarterback. They'll trade up.
But what about my solution? It's right in front of their face. Trade for Fields, draft a wide receiver.
You can't trade for Fields when you have Dimes on a contract like that. They're paying him big money.
So you're going to start him. You're going to make the wrong decision because you're going to throw more good at bad. You just got to cut the cord, bro. Even if you keep him as a glorified backup, it is what it is. He's not a starting quarterback. And if this organization goes in and starts him for one more year because they're paying him, then everybody should be fired. Everybody the next year. That is the dumbest way to approach the 2024 season I've ever heard. I'm not mad at you, J4, but I'm just telling you, If you start Danny Dimes because you're paying him on an awful contract that should have never been given to him, and you say, we got to play him, we're paying him, that is why everybody should be fired. That's why you are where you are as a Giants organization, because of that kind of thinking. He should have never been signed to begin with. Everyone knew he was a trash can, bro. He was garbage. Nobody thought, nobody that looked at this thing from an objective lens thought he was going to be worth that contract. When he got that, we all were like, what in the hell? You kept this guy over Saquon? Franchise tag him. If he ended up being great, then you had a dilemma. You have to overpay a little bit if he was great, but you franchise tag him. You franchise tag him. You sign Saquon, who was cheap because he was a running back anyway. And then you could have walked into this year, bro, with Saquon locked up, and then you draft your darn quarterback right here. I don't know.
No, bro. I totally agree with you. Last year, that was the correct move to make, but when you're paying $40 million for a quarterback, you have no choice but to play it.
Not true. Look at what the Denver Broncos just did. I'm not saying they've operated in a good way either, but the Denver Broncos aren't just going to play Russell Wilson if they don't love him, and they don't believe in him, and they don't want him. You can't start Danny Dimes over a better quarterback because you're paying him, bro. Like, I could go find you a free agent that's better. Or I could go make a small trade and bring in somebody better. I'll go get DTR from Chicago or from Cleveland and bring him in and start. I'll go get, you know who was better? Who's better than him that kept hitting the waiver wire over and over in the NFL was Malik Cunningham, New England Patriot quarterback. They kept cutting him, and everybody just let him pass through waivers. Nobody picked him up. Nobody cared. That guy's better than Danny Dimes. At least I'd give him a shot.
No, listen, he's coming off an ACL. He had a bad season last year. So, no, I don't have high hopes for him. But I think the Giants should just draft the quarterback, probably sit him for half a season, and then they can cut the cord with Danny Dimes at the next offseason. And then they can, rebuild their team the right way.
It feels like you're gonna lose Dable at that point, bro. And then you really got a problem.
I don't think so, because that 2 years ago, what he did, his offense did really well. I think
that's only gonna, bro. He signed Danny Dimes, and then he's gonna play him, and the fan base is gonna be like calling for his head. Like, what you need to do. Let me just tell you what I would do. I don't care if you keep Danny Dimes as a glorified backup, whatever. You draft Penix Jr. or you draft Bo Nix and you start him right away. You don't sit him. No one needs to sit anymore. This is not the 80s or 90s. This is the NFL now, where these quarterbacks walk right in and they're ready-made. And sometimes sitting a quarterback, and look, Jordan Love was a while ago. He sat a long time ago. Right now, you start your quarterback. You take someone as high as the top 10, you play him. You don't need to mess around. You let him learn, trial by fire, throw him to the wolves, and there's no Danny Dimes experiment because you're paying him. That is a recipe for absolutely diving the entire season. You could maybe still figure something out. Bring in Ridley. Like, how much cap space did the Giants have, bro?
They have about 20 to 30.
What's that rank in the NFL?
I would say probably mid-tier, 15.
Yeah, I wonder if you, like, I don't know, bro. I would have brought somebody in. I would bring Ridley in. I'd draft a rookie. I think I can make it work. I can make it work and look respectable. I'm not starting Danny Dimes, making myself look like a fool. You get canned that way.
One site said they have 9 million. Let me double check again. But.
Yeah,
check. I just looked it up. It's 14.
Okay. Andrew, $20 super chat. Thanks, Smitty. Absolute monster, crushing live all day. Appreciate you, Andrew, dropping a $20 holler. Let's roll.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat.
All right. Hey, Jay Farr, I don't mean to be so hard on you. It's not you. It's your
No,
team.
it's all good. It's just a debate. It's all good.
Yeah, I 100,000% disagree with starting a player because you're paying him. I think that is a huge mistake. All right.
There's one more thing I want to bring up. I just want to give you a pat on the back.
Okay.
About 3 weeks ago, you were saying people are going to start talking about Jaden Daniels.
Yes, sir.
Becoming the number 1 pick, and here we go, all on ESPN. Everyone's talking about Jaden Daniels.
Let it ride.
Could be the number 1 pick.
Fired up.
So,
fired up. Let me show you. Let me show you where you can find him if you're ever wondering where he is.
The Saturn Men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
There he is. And might I remind every single one of you watching right now that I believe he and Penix Jr. were the first 2 Moonmen, Marsmen, Saturnmen of any kind to drop on the channel, because it was before the NFL season, was concluding. It was before the national championship game. It was trying to get these out before people were talking about it, and the buzz was building, especially on Penix Jr. Penix Jr. I wanted everything out before Penix Jr. played in the national championship game, and then Penix Jr. crapped the bed, and everyone's like, "Oh, what a dumb prediction!" Penix Jr. at the combine looked great. I think he's rising in value. I'm not judging him on the national championship game. In fact, I kind of like that he's now under the radar. He was under the radar for a bit. But JD5 and him hit the Marsmen, Moonmen, Saturnmen list before anybody else. And I'm proud that they were sitting there. And everyone's like, these are kind of early. These are kind of... Now JD5, everyone loves him. He's the next Lamar Jackson. He might be better than Lamar Jackson on every level.
He's better, bigger, better arm, and just as mobile.
And certainly could be a pure passer, not just a good... Like, Lamar's a good thrower. He's not bad at all, but he's not an elite thrower. He's an elite runner and a very good passer at times. JD5 could be near elite, and he's definitely an elite runner, but he could be a near elite passer if not an elite passer. I really believe that. All right. Hey, J4, appreciate you.
Have a good night. Take care.
Later. Let's go over to... DeBalt, make it a little quick because I'm probably not going to stay more than another 5-10 minutes. What can I do for you?
No, you're good. Don't worry about it, man. Just it was a very busy day.
Yeah.
And it's only gonna. I agree with you. I think JF1's going to be a draft day decision because I don't know what the Raiders are doing. I don't know what the Vikings are doing. But yeah, I agree with all the takes.
I think the Raiders become, as much as I did say that the Raiders probably wouldn't go after him because of Getsy. Luke Getsy was the failed OC in Chicago last year that failed him. But I did always caveat it and say at the end, every time I said that, and say, unless like they come out and we hear that Fields and Getsy both agree that it was the higher ups and the Eberflus and everybody that failed them, and that it wasn't really Getsy and Fields are like this or something or close to that.
Yep.
If that's the case, then I could see. Maybe I'm thinking of it differently. I'm assuming too much about Getsy and Fields failing together, and it was more of a let's get the hell out of here, and let's go take our services over to LV. And if that's the case, they could be in play. And I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. I don't think anybody really does, the inner workings of all that.
Mm-mm.
But I would say that LV feels like the best chance for Fields right now. I think Minnesota's interesting, but now with Darnold going to Minnesota, I don't know if that's as likely. And then you've got these wild card teams that maybe, like Travis keeps saying, in the weeds, waiting and not trying to play their hand now. But at the same time, all these things are happening and lining up. You kind of have to come out of the weeds at this point because, like, you're not going to do yourself any service if someone comes in, steps on the trade, and gets something lined up, and you're just waiting for what. But Seattle would be very intriguing for Fields, but I think they like Penix Jr. But maybe Penix Jr. goes 11 to Minnesota, Knicks goes 12 to Denver, and then Seattle's like, crap, let's go get Fields. You know what I mean? Like, it could happen like that. New Orleans getting Fields would be interesting. I think they should be doing that. I think with Carr and all the risk there, New Orleans might enter in very late in the game here and become a player. Miami should be, but they don't want to offend Tua. He might get a concussion if he reads the news. He reads the news, he might hit his head, and boom, he's out for his career. This guy is not a safe choice for the Miami Dolphins.
Nope.
Pittsburgh has Russell Wilson. New York's not probably going after Fields. They should. Washington should, and then draft Marvin Harrison at 2. New England should go after Fields and then draft Marvin Harrison at 3. The Giants should trade for Fields, but they won't. And then draft a receiver at 6. That would be unbelievable. Falcons are good to go with Kirk Cousins.
I think it's gonna be the Patriots. I mentioned that before, that they're being sneaky and they're cooking some stuff up, and I heard it before.
Can I float something? Can I float something?
Yep.
What I'm just saying. Let's say Fields not going any. Thank you, DeBolt. Let's say he's not going anywhere. Okay, Fields it's dead. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants him at all. Chicago's like, crap. We got to draft Caleb anyway, right? If I'm the New York Jets, I know this is crazy. I know it would not be probably very good for the Aaron Rodgers dynamic, but I would just pick up the phone and say, what do you want? And bring him in. I'm just saying, I know everyone's going to say you can't do that, but I would. I don't care what anybody else says they would do or what other people would do. And then I would say to Aaron Rodgers, I'll even not activate him or whatever I've got to do to keep Aaron Rodgers happy, but just say I want him. I just want to buy him and put him on the shelf and just keep him there, just in case something happens. That's all, Aaron. I mean, honestly, if he's free, if he's a third rounder, what are all these teams doing? What are they doing? Why wouldn't Miami want him as a backup and tell Tua you're the starter? But we just got to protect ourselves. If he's free and he's who's not going to come in and say, you know what? If he's not going to be treated like a starter, let's bring him in as a backup, and just load your team up. I don't know why LV or New Orleans at the end of the day won't be involved. They're got to be on draft day. They got to be.
Even Minshew, the Raiders.
Yeah, you will Minshew
signing him. I mean, they should, but they signed Minshew. It seems like they're going in another direction.
Jake, if you're tired of the channel, no one's forcing you to watch. Jake, you haven't been happy since you've been here. Why you even? What about this channel is appealing to you? I just got to ask you that because you're in here talking about how we're wrong on this. Fields that. I'll come back when he's traded to Indy as AR5's backup. Okay, come back then, Jake. We'll see you later. I mean, good God. I talk about complainer. I'm just my 5th or 6th live stream out here giving you a place and a like I'm not trying to ask for a thank you. You know, this is what I do. It's what I chose to do, and I love it. It's the best job in the world. But good God, bro. Anyway.
It's like Nazzy got it right on the head right there.
Yeah,
hey, you know what?
Justin Fields might have backed into his car at Fry's Food and Drugs or Safeway.
Out of everybody
CBS.
in the channel, I'm gonna respect Sick Nasty's opinion of Fields the most because he's a Michigan fan, and for him to talk about Fields in a good light shows a lot.
Yeah.
So,
enjoying
anyway,
listening from Australia. Hey, Maddie, appreciate you. Jake says, can I have a different opinion? Jake, you're not have a different opinion. You're saying we're glazing. You're saying you want to come back when we're not. That's totally different than, I don't like Fields. I have a different opinion. Sure, Jake. You do what you want. I'm just saying, if you don't like the content, I've seen several messages where you're really not happy with what we're talking about. I'm just saying, no one's forcing you to watch. Like, this show is going to be the only one that's going live constantly when news breaks. We're always here. And we're going to talk about the things at hand. And right now, we're talking about teams that need quarterbacks, and Fields will continue to be talked about. I will continue to mention his name until he's off the board and not in play anymore. Do you hear me talking about Kirk Cousins all show long? Unless somebody brings it up when we're talking about Bijan. I mean, this is one of the pieces that's out there that needs to land somewhere. Jake, what are we supposed to do? Just zip our mouths and go, well, Jake doesn't want to glaze, so we're just going to sit here and be quiet because some people don't want to hear over and over and over. Okay, anyway, Smitty, why do you say Chicago has to draft Caleb? Like I said, Young, they've already crapped all over Fields, man. You can't go back to Fields after you've already said basically in so many words, we don't believe in him. He's not our starter. And I don't care what anybody says about trying to earn more value for the number one and playing the game, acting like you want to trade Fields so you can get. That's not the way you treat your quarterback that's broken. It is a dumb maneuver to put your quarterback in a position of doubt when he's already probably lacking a lot of confidence right now, and he's shaken, and he's broken. He is broken. He needs to be fixed. Fields is not perfect. But for anybody that thinks he's an injured dog that can't recover, I have news for you. He's got the talent to. I don't know if he's got the coaching to in Shane Waldron and the Chicago Bears organization. They've already also... Rock out calling again. I missed your call, Rock out. He's already failed Fields already anyway. And Fields doesn't appear to fit the direction they want to take this team. And they've already passed on C.J. Stroud, the number one overall pick they did not use on a quarterback. And are they really going to pass on another quarterback again? I don't think so. They almost have to take not just Caleb, but JD5 would be the pick, but I don't want them to pick JD5. I don't want them to. Let's go over to... actually, DeBalt, final thoughts. Rock out calling again. I missed your call. DeBalt, final thoughts.
Nothing. Everything's kind of panning out. There's a lot of surprising signings today. I'm very surprised Henry's still available.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, maybe he does what he does at Saquon and goes to the Texans. I don't know. Yeah. But all I know is it's already great. It's not even March 13th yet, and it's already happening.
All right, appreciate you, DeBalt. Thanks, man.
All right, see you later.
We didn't hear from Purdue. Last Purdue didn't call back about Cousins going to the Steelers. when Cousins signed with Atlanta, he deuced. He's like, I'm not. And he's an avid follower of the channel, but I thought for sure we'd hear him call back. Or I did wonder if maybe he wouldn't come back in. I don't know. Anyway, rock out. What can I do for you?
Yeah, I think the top spot for Fields could be the Vikings, but if not, I would love to see him with Olave in New Orleans.
Love it.
And then a sleeper if the Seattle got screwed of.
Yep, on the clock.
Penix, they might take him as well.
For sure. Yeah, on the clock, you might see Penix Jr. get snagged by Denver or Minnesota. Bo Nix go to Denver or Minnesota or LV or New Orleans, and then Seattle goes crap. And Ryan Grubb, who wants Penix Jr. because that's his OC from Washington, they're going to say, let's go get Fields maybe. Hopefully. I don't know. Yeah, Henry will be signed by tomorrow. He has to be. I'm hearing Baltimore is in the works, but that doesn't mean that Dallas can't, in the 11th hour, be like, hey, what they offering you? We'll give you $2 million more. Jerry Jones, blank check has just been faxed to you. A facsimile has been sent to you. This is Jerry. Answer your fax. All right, rock out. Anything else? I'm sorry you called in right at the tail end, but anything else I could help you with, kind sir?
That's about it, but appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate you, man. We got a tweeter question. Where does Jacks go in the draft. Jacks who? Who's he talking about?
Jacksonville.
What's he talking about, Jacks? Caleb is problem wherever he goes, says Cam. I agree, bro. Tim, I agree with you. Plus, USC QBs have bad rep in the league, says Low. I believe Caleb wants to be in Washington. Of course he does, with Kingsbury. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I think he was asking, what does Jacksonville do in the draft?
Okay, what does Jacksonville do in the draft? Okay, good question. I don't know. 17. I don't know what they're going to get there. The fact that they just brought in, what's his face?
Davis.
Yeah, Gabe. My brain's fried
Gabe
at this
Davis.
point. Gabe Davis. I don't think they go wide receiver. You never know, but I don't think they do now. I think maybe. That's tough to say. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be there. Let's see.
Defensive line, maybe.
What could they do? Yeah, I think it's got to be offensive line. Like the interior somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that's what they probably will do. Because right now, it's all about they better turn the tables on this Justin Fields spoiled milk situation. They got to get Trevor Lawrence. They got to get Trevor Lawrence back on top. And I'm not saying he's a failure or a success at any point. We don't know. I think that we got to keep in mind that we've seen quarterbacks fail to a degree before and still have good careers. And I still like Trevor Lawrence a lot. I really do, but I don't know that the situation is what I want.
I wish they would have held out for a better receiver.
Yeah.
Or tried to draft one or something.
Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be a line. I don't know. All right, Travis.
Go
ahead.
Did you see Andrew Grayson's super chat? I zoned out for a minute there.
Did I see who?
Andrew's super chat.
Yes, I did read that. 20. Yeah, he said thanks for absolute monster crushing the lives. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you. Thank you, Hop G. Thank you, Steve Morris, for dropping 20 wads. You guys are absolute, just awesome. Appreciate you. Anything else, Travis? Before I jump, I think I'm done for the night unless Derrick Henry signs it, or news breaks at freaking 1 or 2 a.m.
I told Tanner I would ask this question for him because he couldn't call in. Must be a dynasty. He would be getting the 1.10 in George Pickens. He'd be trading the 1.7 Swift and Watson.
Say it again.
The 1.10 in Pickens. And he would be trading away the 1.7 DeAndre Swift and Watson, wide receiver, I believe. He's got decent running backs. He's a little thinner at wide receiver.
I like the Swift Christian Watson. I still think there's hope for Christian Watson. I just don't know. But assume there's not. Christian Watson, Swift, and 1.7. Just because, like, you're still maybe getting Thomas Jr., you're still maybe getting the number one rookie running back. You know, you might be getting Wright or whoever's. You might get Bowers if you're lucky. Yeah. If it's a super flex, even more so. But yeah, I'm gonna take Swift and say, you know what, Swift versus Pickens, I'm fine with. If you're telling me I get to keep the 1.7 over the 1.10, but it's a good question, very arguable. But I would I would keep this side. I would keep the Swift and 1.7 side, or that's the side I would want, regardless of what side he's on.
All right, cool. All right, appreciate it, Smitty. I'll talk to you later.
Later, Travis. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks to my mods. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, DeBalt. I know DeBalt's a mod on the Dynasty channel. We'd probably make him a mod eventually here on the main channel. We probably should. DeBalt, thank you. Thank you, Vampy, if you're here. Thank you, Space Ricky, if you're here. Thank you, Terry Roberts, if you're here. Thank you, Blackbeard, if you're here. Am I missing any mods? That's all she wrote. This was kind of a crazy little piece that dropped. And then now it's like JJ. Like, I almost felt like going live again on JJ. But I think we need more information. If we don't get any more information tomorrow, we'll go live on JJ. We got to. We got to talk about JJ. We got to talk about it. Which might upset Jake because Fields will come up again. I promise you we're talking about Fields every single day, Jake. I'm just letting you know. Preparing you. Put your earmuffs on. I'll see you all later. I'm not mad at you, Jake. I'm just letting you know. How many people are in here? 400 people. How can I leave with 400 people in here?
Leave it on the fields.
Just in time.
Fields of dreams.
This next one goes out to welcome to WKP7, your radio station host for the night. Appreciate you joining me here on a Monday late night, early Tuesday morning. We've got this little number. It's called Leave It on the Fields by Justin Fields. This is dedicated to Jake.
Leave it on the fields.
Just in time.
Fields of dreams.
Fields like making love.
Outstanding in his fields.
Fields so good.
Fields general. My fields good. Uneven playing fields.
Battlefields tested.
Fields. He's for reals.
Do we stay or do we not? We got 391 people in here. By the way, if anybody didn't know, we literally went live. I went live with Rashad White, and he told me 22 minutes before the Baker Mayfield signing news broke, and he said he was having dinner with him, and that he was gonna be back. 22 minutes later, this news broke, and we knew that when he met Baker that night, they were popping bottles, celebrating. And it was kind of fun to talk to Rashad White over. And he said he's running for 1,400 yards easy. So we'll see. I got to go. 400 people in here. Hit that thumb up button on the way out the door. 128 thumbs up. If you're on Twitter, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty as well if you want to draft with us on the regular. And if you're on Instagram, make sure you get on over to youtube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. Links in my Instagram bio, links in my Twitter bio. Make sure you subscribe. The YouTube experience is a lot more interactive, by the way. But I appreciate everybody in here. I think we got a good number of tweeters here. We've got on Twitter, we've got 214. On YouTube, we still got 181. On Instagram, I don't remember. It doesn't say. I don't know how many we got. Probably 20, 15, something like that. All right. See you all later. Appreciate you. Deuces. How do I like Zach Moss and Cincy? He's okay. I wanted them to bring a bigger name in. Felt like they're bringing a nice little, stick to a sword fight. It's a good stick. Deuces.
He's Kyron, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special message from the Bruce's mother.
Get
Bijan.
Legend has it if you say St. Brown 3 times in the dark in the bathroom, you will immediately lose your league.